I never expected my own daughter-in-law to look me in the eyes and call me a burden. But that's exactly what happened the night everything changed, the night she learned what she never imagined was written inside those inheritance papers. It began on a cold Tuesday evening in Ontario. I had just come home from my part-time shift at the community library, my hands aching from the winter air. When I stepped inside my son Daniel's house, I heard hushed voices in the kitchen. I didn't want to intrude, but the words drifted toward me like sharp needles. "She's becoming too much for us, Daniel," my daughter-in-law, Emma, whispered harshly. "It's not our job to carry her. Your mom is a burden." Those words froze me in place. A burden. I had never asked them for anything more than a roof over my head after my husband passed away and my small pension couldn't cover the rising rent. I cooked, I cleaned, I helped with their kids, and I tried to stay out of their way. Yet somehow, I was still too much. Daniel didn't defend me. That hurt even more. He just sighed and said, "We'll figure something out." I quietly backed away before they saw me. I spent that night in the small guest room twisting and turning, wondering where I would go if they wanted me out. I had no savings, at least, that's what they thought. They had no idea what I had worked for my entire life. What they didn't know was that my husband and I had bought a small piece of land decades ago near Barrie. It was nothing but a quiet patch of forest back then. But as the housing market exploded, that land's value skyrocketed. My husband always said, "This will be for our grandchildren one day. Don't ever tell anyone until it's time." I had kept my promise. A week later, things reached a breaking point. Emma came to my room, arms crossed, frustration on her face. "We need space. Maybe you can find a senior home or something, at least for a while." She said it so casually, as if sending me away was like moving an old couch into storage. My heart felt heavy, but I didn't argue. Instead, I simply said, "Can you ask Daniel to come to the living room? I need to talk to both of you." They sat down, clearly impatient. I took a deep breath. "Before I leave, there's something important you both need to see." I reached into my old purse and pulled out a brown envelope. Inside were the inheritance papers, finalized documents transferring ownership of the land to my grandchildren. But I wanted to show them something else first. "Your father and I worked for 40 years, I said quietly. "We didn't live a fancy life. We saved, we sacrificed, and we invested in something we hoped would secure the future of our family." I handed the papers to Daniel. His eyes widened as he read. 5 acres of prime land worth nearly $2 million. Emma leaned over his shoulder, her breath catching. This is real." "Yes," I said, "it was meant for your children. I was planning to tell you next month when the final valuation came in. But now feels like the right time." Emma's face shifted from shock to embarrassment. Her voice was small when she whispered, "Why didn't you tell us?" I looked at her gently. "Because family isn't supposed to care for someone because of money. It's supposed to come from love." Silence filled the room. Daniel lowered his head, guilt washing over him. Emma's eyes glistened as she avoided my gaze. I continued softly, "I wasn't asking for anything. I never planned to live with you forever. I just needed time to get back on my feet. I never wanted to feel like I was in the way." Tears finally spilled down Emma's cheeks. She covered her face with her hands. "I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I was stressed and overwhelmed, but that doesn't excuse anything I said. You aren't a burden. You've helped us more than we ever appreciated." Daniel moved closer and took my hand. "Mom, we failed you. Please don't leave. Let us make this right." Their words felt sincere, but I had made my decision. I loved them, but I had learned something important. Staying where you're not valued only breaks your spirit. "I will always be part of this family," I said gently. "But it's time I build something for myself. Your father wanted me to live peacefully, too." With their help, I moved into a small but warm apartment near the edge of town. They visited more often after that. Emma treated me with a kindness I had never seen from her before, always bringing the kids, always checking in. Daniel apologized more times than I could count. But the most meaningful change wasn't money or gifts. It was respect, and sometimes, that's all anyone wants, especially a mother. My story isn't about revenge. It is about worth. Too often, the elderly in families feel invisible, unappreciated, or unwanted. But the truth is simple. The ones who carried us when we were young deserve to be carried with love when they grow old. In the end, I didn't need them to see the inheritance papers to know my value. I already knew it, the papers simply reminded them,